How can fleets soften AI coaching with a personal touch?
Generally, when we talk about AI coaching, the the philosophy is that a one size fits all, because generally it's used to scale quickly across your fleet, and you use AI as an automation tool, but it generally loses that personal touch. And so I would say the way we've tried to address this at Lytics is by sort of humanizing the data a lot more. um, Giving coaches and drivers this data as a data point versus a punitive point. So that's the first part of this. So it's like, how do you turn these behaviors into a conversation versus sort of a set in stone type of establishment, right? So that's the first part of trying to humanize the data. The second thing that we encourage coaches to do is, when these AI alerts go off in a cab, for example, the driver knows that they didn't do something right. But in a follow up conversation, the managers need to help them on how to handle that situation better. If they, for example, if they got cut off by someone, the manager needs to coach them on how to build proper or safe following distance after being cut off by another driver. The alert will simply say you're following too close, but it doesn't really tell you how to solve the situation. So the human touch comes from a manager, pairing up and helping the driver understand what they could do better. A third thing that we are trying to do here at Lytics is also balancing some of the critiques that the system comes up with just based on behaviors with also recognition, right? So if you're keeping a safe distance, if you're monitoring and observing that there are other vehicles parked on the side of the road, and if you maneuver safely around them, those are all examples of things that the driver is doing well. And so when you balance some of those behaviors, the driver feels more recognized in the things that they are doing well, and in that case they are more open to alerts that tell them when they're not doing something well. And so I would say those are many different ways that we have thought about bringing a human touch to it. And the last thing I'll say is that no two drivers are the same. You could have a commercial driver who is very early on in their journey, who's more used to technology and be willing to get all of these alerts and deeply understand it. You may also have a veteran in the industry who spent a long time behind the wheel driving commercially. The thing about AI is that if it treats those two drivers the same, then the chances of success is not as good. And so we like to make it configurable in a way that this can be personalized to the context of the driver. And like, for example, some drivers need multiple alerts, some just need one alert for them to course correct. And so as the system learns the driver preferences, it can become deeply personal to how you drive, and it can deeply become a copilot, right? It is an assistant that is alongside you in the cab to really help you drive and get to your destination safely, versus just this noisy piece of technology that's constantly alerting and buzzing at you. So that's really when the unlock occurs, and that's sort of the human touch that we're going to bring to this whole area.
How do you get drivers to accept and become comfortable with not only a driver facing camera, but also AI in the cab?
So I would maybe frame the answer as two or three things. The one is, we've also moved on beyond driver behavior to driver wellness. We've introduced like a thing called fatigue this year, where we actually catch drivers falling asleep. There's just so much destruction that occurs when a huge commercial truck driver falls asleep at the wheel, right? And so it's also, like I said, the previous question I mentioned, it's become truly an assistant to the driver. So I would say that is helping that adoption. And the second thing is, we especially at Lytics, we have this mode called privacy, where we're actually using AI, but we're not recording any video. So we're protecting the privacy of the driver, but at the same time helping them understand what they're doing in the cab, right? And there's no video ever. It's purely to their benefit. And so I would say those two things are getting drivers to be more open to looking at AI as a thing that helps them.